We can talk more about hearts in a second. Hey, Andy. Long time, hope you're well. Where have you been, dude? Wondering where you popped off to. Hope everything's amazing, man. So, you guys know what's nuts? I think they pushed south into the Crimean, yeah. Interesting. So, we're over here. So, Falcon 9 is launching from Slick 4 East. Or just Slick 4 East. There's East and West. It's cool because Slick 4 East is right here and Slick 4 West is right here. Falcon's launching from here, and this booster, 1071, will land right there. It's going to land right where it launched, which is cool. That's really neat. The landing pad is like right next to the launch pad. Now, these pads are... I think there were Titan pads, but I'm not sure. I'm not 100%. Very busy with work and travel. Was at the Rolex 24 last weekend. Been lurking around. Great coverage as always. Right on, man. Well, it's good to see you. Overwhelming numbers sure as hell help. Yeah. Well, that's good, man. I'm glad you keep him busy, dude. So these were Titan 3, and then that's next to Slick 3. Slick 3 was Atlas. They were Atlas pads, and Atlas is here. Yeah, Atlas 5's pad is there. That's Slick 3 East and Slick 3 West. You have Slick 4 East and Slick 4 West. And then you have Slick 6 down here, which is Delta's pad. So, what I was saying, and this is just kind of weird to me. So, you see the train station right there? It's obviously closed right now because it's too close to the pad. But, straight up, I've had Tough Enough right here. Like right here. And you can see SpaceX's HIF from here. See it out there? And you can see Atlas's pad. So there's Atlas 5 and Falcon 9. You can see their pads right there. It's really freaking... That's weird, man. Falcon 1 static fired from Slick 3 West. Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, there's a train station down here. Lompoc Surf. Or Lompoc, excuse me. And then there's more pads to the north of here. Those are all missile silos out there. This is where the Air Force tests their missiles. Do I see a rail trip in your future? No, man, I've driven the truck right here. The Tough Enough drove right here. Me and Brimo. That's very strange to me. Like, dude, I've seen this pad. Like, it's very weird. Yeah, I had dude, that was the farthest north in California we took the truck, Lompoc Surf. Or Lompoc Surf, excuse me. And actually, that's not true. I was up here. I was up here hanging with some buddies. Couldn't stream it, though. Streaming on a military base is usually frowned upon. So, yeah, we didn't do that. Any update on the NASA Blue paint job? Sile, I am trying to fix everything on the truck, get it back to stock first, then we paint. You work on the thing, because I don't want to be, like, moving around engines and stuff. I'm not moving around the engine. Like, this is just an example. I don't want to be moving around parts and scratch the new paint job. Painting's the last thing you do. But I do want I want the blue, actually. Hang on. So NASA acquired a C-130 very recently, and it has the coolest freaking paint job, and this is the paint job that I like. So it's gray, cloud gray on the bottom with a NASA blue stripe, white on the top, which would look really good on that truck, because that truck came with two-tone like this. The Fords here. The Fords came with a two-tone like that, and you could get it tricolored. See? That one, well, that one's chrome, gray, and black, but you get the idea. See? So, like, down here, gray, with a blue stripe that looks just like that, and white on the top, I think would look money. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I like the running boards. The running board looks cool. I like that. Get a running board, get a plow attachment for it. That's what the truck looked like when it was stock, but yeah. Yeah, Salty, it looks good. This three-tone, like, gray, blue, and white, I think would look really good. Please, for the love of God, nah, the EJ logo's too close to NASA's logo, dude. But yeah, that's the idea. That's what I want to do. I think it would look sweet. But yeah, I want to get the truck like 100% mechanically perfect. Basically back to stock. So I have to de-hoonigan it a little bit. But then, once we do that and I have a good canvas to start, that's when we can start re-hooning the thing. So, I don't know. Maybe in the future, like some turbos or something. You could do a lot with those 351 motors. They're a good engine. They're a really good power plant. You can do cool things with them. EJ, do the EJ Worm? Yeah. A Vault-Tec theme would be legit. I thought the 59 would be better for Vault-Tec. But yeah, I like that. That truck has been right there, dude. It's been there. It's like right next to those pads, which is that's really crazy to me. It's almost Shelby stripes. Yeah, that's right. So we're getting ready for the SpaceX audio to go. The audio is already live right now. I have the mission control audio up. I have the mission control audio up right now. They were go for prop load. The cat. Stage 2 RP1 load is complete. There we go. Just heard that over the cast there. Direct injection with ITBs. It needs heads, man. Those heads on those things suck. We got to get rid of the air pump and all that other garbage. Does your truck transmission already have PTO installed, or does it just have the space open where it should go? Space open where it should go, Synerd. It's a ZF547 gearbox. It's an F350's transmission. They didn't really put those things in the F250 unless it was like an HD. So that's the transmission you would have seen behind like a 7.3. And for this truck is cool, and it's actually behind a 351, which is sweet. But no, it doesn't have PTO on it. Dude, it is just it's a bone straight 5-speed transmission. First gear is crawler and 5th gear is overdrive. So it's really a 3-speed transmission. Yeah. It's nice, dude. That thing is beefy. You could just tell by the throws when you throw that thing in the gears. I love bang shifting through the gears with that truck. It's so fun. Did I miss the launch? Nope. Great stash. Thank you. Yeah, Hellfish, we got to do that. We'll get all the emissions garbage off that thing. Get all the emissions nonsense off of that thing. It should be exempt. Yeah, 25 years out. It's more than 25. Well, actually, it is 25, so that's good. What will be the heading for NROL-87? Southwest, Rex. Yep. Thanks, Popsicle. Yeah, Tessa, bang shifting it is cool because it has this super long throw. So when you shift it, it's like it's fun, man. It's fun, dude. The reason why I like that truck is because it's like you're driving a truck from the 70s. Because Ford didn't really change anything, man. They didn't really change much from like 1979 to like 1997, except for like just fuel injection and a couple of other things. I'm ready. Yeah, Iran, I'm ready to go. Are you ready to go? You don't need PTO for a plow. The modern ones are elected, which is why I recommended the second battery. It has a spot for it, Ga. Yeah, there's a spot for it. I'd have to move the coolant reservoir, but there's a spot. Considering it's polar, it's probably some type of imaging optical satellite. Well, it's L-87, so it's the National Reconnaissance Office, so it's something. Kev, it's something. Yeah, J-Speed, the throw is like 1 foot between the first gear gate and the second gear gate. It's like I never got to show you guys that. That's cool, man. You're getting a plow for it? No. I could. And I can't see why it would be bad to not have PTO on it. It would be cool. Because PTO, you can do stuff. But, yeah. I want four-wheel drive. That's what I want. I gotta start. I would really want to start sourcing the parts to convert it to four-wheel. You can do it. It's easier to swap frames, and I don't want to swap frames. I don't really want to do that. Plus, that would make for some pretty fun content, you know? Installing four-wheel drive on that thing on a stream. That would be pretty cool. Hey, Penta. No locking hubs, winner. Yeah. If I was going to, yes. Now LS swap it. Yeah. That would actually be like a downgrade. It's got a 351 in it, dude. We'd go from a 5.8 to a 5.3. Screw that. Did you ever go off-roading with this truck? Salty, it's a 4x2. It's not good for off-roading right now. That's why I want to switch it to 4x4. So we could go off-roading with it. And I'm not talking like, hey, I can drive on dirt. I'm talking like, you know, 4x4, let's go drive up a mountain or something, you know? Yeah, Signer, that means we would have to swap the rear end because the 1025 is a non-locking diff. But I don't know. Four-wheel would be cool out of the gates. Yeah, I mean, you know what's funny, dude? No, that's the Cleveland motor. You can bolt LS heads to a Cleveland motor. It doesn't work very well, but you can do it. Some guy on YouTube did it. EJ drives up a mountain stream. Oh, come on, Fragment. You wouldn't want to see... A four-wheeling stream would be cool, man. That would be fun. How big of a job is it to switch to from 4x2 to 4x4? I would put that in the big job category, Sile. That's like... If I was going to do that, I would make sure, A, I have all the parts for it, and B, I would get a bunch of guys together to do this literally in a weekend because, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of work. We'd need a front diff. You need to basically take the whole front suspension apart. You need to take the transmission apart. You got to put the transfer case on the transmission. You need a front drive shaft. You need all the linkages for the 4x4. SpaceX is live. That's a big job. It would be tough. I would like to do it, but stretch goals, dude. Yeah, Salty, that'd be funny as heck, man, right? Just that'd be cool, man. And you know what's sick, dude, is like if I got like a press pass, right, and we go to set up remotes, when you set up remotes, you drive your car right to the pad. So that would be kind of neat, you know? All right, guys. Yeah, the rear drive shaft. Well, actually, Mutter, it's got a carrier bearing. So all you got to do, it's a 2-segment drive shaft. So like what I have right now is transmission, drive shaft, carrier, and then rear drive shaft to the diff. And that carrier drive shaft is where the transfer case would go. So you can just undo that, and from what I can tell, you take the rear and you put it into the transfer case. Or I might need a shorter drive shaft carrier. Who knows? I'd have to go really look, but from what I can tell, it's all modular. It's like, dude, this thing is like the truck and beam. That's why I like OBS Fords. It's like the truck and beam. You can do whatever with it, which is really neat. We have been bussing again sometimes. Ew, no, that's gross. Yeah, Tessa. Yeah, drummer. Well, we'd have to make some brackets for it, right? But yeah, it would be cool. It would be cool. But yeah, the fact that the truck that's sitting in my buddy's yard like a mile away from me has been like right next to the pad that this rocket is launching from is actually kind of cool. This pad is about as far as you can get away from my house as possible, which is really neat to me.
Ten, 9, 8.
Side booster ignition.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go. It's just across the pond for you, Sparks. Yeah, right.
Good afternoon. It's February 2nd, 2022, and on your screen is a live
See,
view
like right over
of
there.
Falcon 9 as it waits for its 12:27 p.m.
Kate.
Pacific Time launch from Space Launch Complex 4 East at Vandenberg Space Force Base off the coast of California. My name is Kate Tice, and I'm a reliability engineering manager here at
Bam.
SpaceX, joining you from our headquarters about 150 miles south of the launch site. Our mission today is NROL-87 for the National Reconnaissance Office, or NRO. Today marks the NRO's first launch of 2022 and their 60th launch since public disclosure of launches began in December 1996. It also marks SpaceX's 143rd launch overall, our 5th launch of the year, and the second of 3 launches for this week. Now, for those of you that have been following along, you know that our most recent mission lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 down in Florida on Monday. Following today's launch of NROL-87, we're set to launch our next Starlink mission tomorrow from Pad 39A off the coast of Florida. We're currently at T-minus 11 minutes and 11 seconds, and conditions are, as you can see on your screen, gorgeous for today's launch. Obviously, the weather's looking good. We have no major areas of concern. The range is green and ready to support. And finally, the vehicle and payload are in good health. Today's payload, the NROL-87 satellite, is a national security payload designed, built, and operated by the National Reconnaissance Office. NRO missions provide critical information to more than 500,000 government users, to include every member of the intelligence community, 24 domestic agencies, our nation's military, lawmakers, and decision makers. Here's a closer look at the NRO and its capabilities.
Here we go.
For 60 years, we have been making the intelligence that keeps America safe possible. We are the leader in developing, building, launching, and operating our country's space reconnaissance systems. Our adversaries are moving fast, so we are moving faster to stay above all threats. We are going beyond, building resilience in everything we do, innovating faster to create the technology of the future with a world-class workforce alongside our partners and allies. Our future is built on more than half of a century of unrivaled success in space operations. The National Reconnaissance Office, above and beyond.
And beyond.
The NRO has a busy launch year planned ahead for 2022, with more than a half dozen launches scheduled and a dozen payloads planned for orbit. While SpaceX has launched several missions for the NRO, today's mission represents the first launch of a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket procured directly under the National Security Space Launch, or NSSL program. NSSL is a government launch acquisition program aimed at ensuring continued access to space for national security missions. The program is overseen and operated through U.S. Space Force's Space Systems Command, headquartered in Los Angeles, California.
LA Air Force Base.
One thing to note, per the NRO's request, we will not be sharing any views from the second stage today, and we will be ending our webcast around the T+8 minute mark, just after Falcon 9 touches back down onto land. We're almost at 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
Hold authority communication check. Please respond with strength and clarity when pulled. NOPS OD.
Loud and clear.
All right, I'm gonna fast forward as we're a little bit behind. Yeah, look at that, 1071, a brand new booster. This one is actually like the next mission that it has lined up, you know, provided it comes back and lands over there. See where that tent is over there? This thing is gonna come back down and land right over there. It's scheduled for more reconnaissance office missions.
Is the first stage. While it's designed to be reflown 10 or more times with minimal refurbishment between
fast
flights,
forward.
Today will be the first flight for this particular booster. As you might be able to tell, that its shiny white coat of paint can be clearly seen. There's no soot on this booster.
Do good, more like.
At the bottom of the first stage,
too.
there are 9 Merlin engines that will get Falcon 9 off the ground and up to the thinner parts of the Earth's atmosphere. The two stages will separate from one another. The second stage continues to orbit, while the first stage makes its way back down to Earth for its landing attempt at Landing Zone 4, which is not too far from where it will lift off. And there you can see Landing Zone 4 on your screen now.
Yep.
If successful, this will be the first landing for this booster.
See,
It will also mark the
water
105th successful
on
recovery
the
of
landing
an
site.
orbital-class rocket. Now, as for the second stage, which we see there just under the payload fairing,
put water down so the
that will
rocket doesn't
ignite
destroy
its
the
single
concrete.
Merlin vacuum
It
engine, or
heats the
MVAC,
water up instead of the
about
concrete.
2.5 minutes into flight. It's this engine that will take the NROL-87 spacecraft to its intended orbit. At the moment, our payload today is safely enclosed inside the 17-foot diameter payload fairing, which you see there, the structure at the very top of the rocket. This protects the satellite from aerodynamic heating, loads, and contamination during ascent. Once we reach the vacuum of
Stage
space...
1, fuel load is complete.
All right, good news there. Stage 1 fuel load has completed.
Yeah.
Now,
looks
once
all
we reach
weird,
the
all
vacuum
nice
of
and
space, we'll
shiny like
jettison
that.
those fairing halves while the second stage continues on to orbit. Just like our Falcon
not
9
sure, Han.
booster, today these fairing halves are also brand new, and we will
Hey,
be
Juan.
attempting to retrieve them from the water once they make their way back to Earth. As I mentioned earlier, this mission is for the National Reconnaissance Office, or NRO. The NRO is responsible for developing, acquiring, launching, and operating America's reconnaissance satellites, as well as operating associated data processing facilities in support of national security. These sophisticated systems are used to develop military targeting data, support international humanitarian relief operations, and assess the impact of natural disasters.
Okay.
As a reminder, per the NRO's request, we will not be showing
It's an
any views
optical
from our second
satellite,
stage
guys.
today, and we will be ending our webcast around the T+8 minute mark, just shortly after Falcon 9 touches back down at Landing Zone 4. So far, we are at T-5 minutes and 6 seconds, and all systems remain go for
These
an
shots,
on-time
though.
liftoff. The range
I don't know,
remains
Swish Shield.
green
10,
and ready to support.
11.
As for the weather, as you can see by
Yes, they
those
can launch Falcon
views
Heavy from here.
from
Yes.
Vandenberg Space Force Base, it's a gorgeous day for launch. We have basically 0% probability of violation with respect to weather rules for today. The vehicle and payload continue to be healthy. In fact, the payload is now on internal power. And if for some reason today that we are unable to launch, we do have a backup window tomorrow at the same time. Next up, the truss structure there next to the vehicle, known as
MD, cell D on countdown 1.
Sometimes geek.
TMD.
Mission director.
It's a MD.
Is coming through the final status check. You and your team are go for launch and landing.
MD and team are go for launch and landing.
Yeah, look at the ladder. You want some scale, look at the ladder
Right,
on the
we
side
can
of the
see
TE,
there
like
that
what
the
Sylvia was
clamp
saying.
arms on the transporter
Southwest
erector, or TE,
95.
have now begun to open in preparation
Gonna
for
be hard for you to see,
retraction
but
of the TE.
Look out over the beach.
This is one of the last major visual milestones that we have prior to
Strong
launch.
Rex moving back into 87-degree retracted position. This is an
At
old
this
school
point in
Strong
time,
Rex.
both the first stage
JW.
and second stage are
Knew
nearly
everything,
fully
man.
loaded with 1 million pounds of kerosene fuel and liquid oxygen, or LOX, as you often hear us call it. The white
Reconnaissance
clouds that you
office,
see
Mike.
there on the side of the vehicle are normal. That's just that super chilled liquid liquid oxygen
too far
coming into
serious.
contact with the ambient air around the vehicle. The fuel is completely loaded on both first and second stage, and we're expecting the
¿Cómo
first
está,
stage to
Guicholo?
wrap up its
Muito
LOX
bene.
loading in about 15 seconds at T-3 minutes, and second stage will complete its LOX loading at T-2 minutes. At T-60 seconds, we'll hear a call out that Falcon 9 is in startup.
Stage 1, lock load complete.
All right, so stage 1 is now fully loaded with both all of its fuel and liquid oxygen, and we're waiting for a second stage to wrap up that LOX load. When we hear the call out that Falcon 9 is in startup, that means that the rocket's autonomous internal flight computers have taken over the launch
Slick
countdown.
4, Mayor. Yep, Vandenberg.
And then just
See
inside
the landing
of
pad's,
T-2
like, right over there.
seconds, we
See
will
where that
light
white
the
tent
Merlin
is? It's just
M1D
to the left of
engines
that, which is really
and
cool.
set for liftoff. Right now, the NROL-87 payload continues to be healthy on internal power, and the Falcon 9 team is tracking no issues on the rocket.
Nah, Sevi, it'll be fine.
So we're about 20 seconds away from second stage LOX load completion. Everything looking really good. As you can see, there's not a cloud in sight. Typically at Vandenberg, we have some fog to deal with. So if you're local to the area, you're sure to see a beautiful liftoff and landing, as we will be attempting to land back at landing zone 4, which is about 1,000 feet away from the launch pad.
330 meters away from the launch pad. I don't remember Signer. So many
Stage
launches.
2 locked load complete.
I hope so, Lulz. Okay, stage 2 LOX load is complete. You should see the T
All
event
right, there
here.
we heard the
There it
call out.
goes.
Stage 2 LOX load is complete. At this point in time, the vehicle will start venting the liquid oxygen, as you can see there on your screen. The leftover liquid oxygen basically left in the load lines.
Yeah, Swishio, we won't see any second stage stuff here.
Continuing to look good for an on-time liftoff.
But it's pretty much the same. Okay, T-minus 1 minute. Here we go. You should see the sound suppression system prime right before they light the
MD is
engine.
go for launch.
Mission director reports
Falcon
go for
startup.
launch.
Here we
Turning the
just heard
key on
mission
Falcon.
directors go for launch,
There's no key.
and that the vehicle is in startup.
Only some
The
rockets do that.
autonomous, excuse me, the onboard flight computers have taken over the launch countdown.
All right, guys. You ready for a launch today? I'm ready for a launch today. Let's do this.
We're now at T-minus 25 seconds. Let's listen in to the
Yeah.
final countdown.
20 seconds. Sound
T-minus
suppre-
15.
Sound suppressor is on.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Engine
2,
ignition.
1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of L-87. Go Falcon.
launch.
Go, go.
Go, go! Oh, what a shot. That's very nice.
Pitching downrange.
A little bit of ice coming off the vehicle. Everything looks good there, though. Wow.
Nominal first stage chamber pressures.
Well, that doesn't suck. "30 seconds in, everything looks good. Separation looked real nice. Okay, vehicle's rolling over. Find the correct flight azimuth for...
We're now T-plus
Polar
40
insertion
seconds
here.
into the NROL-87 mission.
There's Slick 3 at the top of
Falcon
your
9 is
screen.
throttling down in preparation.
Nominal power and telemetry.
Okay.
In preparation for max Q, which will take place at T-plus 1 minute and 12 seconds. Max Q, of course, being the moment in which the vehicle experiences the highest amount of aerodynamic
Vehicle
pressure.
supersonic.
There's Big Sur
Beautiful
right
views
there.
of the California coast there in the
The
background.
Lompoc Surf right there, not Big Sur. Should see the runway over here in a
Max
second.
Q.
Maximum dynamic
All
pressure.
right,
There's
there
the
we heard the
runway.
call out for max Q. Everything looking good with stage 1 trajectory.
There's all a Lompoc right there. You can almost see
Now,
the
in the
whole
next
thing.
couple minutes, we have 5 events coming
Great
up
shots.
in quick succession, starting with main engine cutoff,
Here you go,
stage
Neff.
separation, stage 1 flip, second engine start 1, and then the boost back burn. Main engine cutoff, as the name
Start event back
suggests,
chill.
we will
Starting to move
throttle, or excuse me, we will
propellants
shut
into the
down
second stage engine to
all
prime
9
it for
Merlin
flight.
engines. The stages will separate. The first stage will actually flip over and conduct a boost back burn, and that's what we have to do in order to
There's all Lompoc
fly
right
the
there.
booster back towards land. And of course, during that time as well, we'll have second engine start 1, where
Top
we will
right of your screen,
ignite
you should
the
be
Merlin
able to see
vacuum
Santa
engine.
Barbara here.
Again, not a cloud in the sky, gorgeous liftoff
Yeah,
from
everything looks real
Vandenberg Space
good.
Force Base, Space Launch Complex 4 East.
This is a shot up the second stage, up the business end of the second stage here. Oh, great shot. Okay, stand by for engine cutoff. There it is.
First stage engine cutoff.
All right, watch. The first stage is
Stage
gonna flip.
separation confirmed.
First stage is gonna flip around. Good ignition. First stage is
Stage
now
one,
turning
boost
back down.
Startup.
All
So
right,
the first
there you
stage is gonna
saw
land
all of
right where my
those
mouse
crystal
cursor is.
clear,
That thing's
beautiful
gonna boost
views.
back and land down
That
over
first
there.
stage now
There's the
is
second
performing
stage.
the boost back burn.
And that pull,
And there we heard the
tower.
call out that fairing
good fairing
separation,
separation.
has been confirmed. Unfortunately, we're unable to broadcast that at the request of our customer, but we were able to confirm the deployment of that. We're now 3 minutes into launch, and the next milestones coming up include the conclusion of the boost back burn, which we see right there on your screen.
There are 3 or 4.
And that will finish at T plus 3 minutes.
Sentinel
and
6
15
landed
seconds.
here. A couple of Starlinks landed here. Yeah, there's been a couple of them.
Stage 1, boost back shutdown.
All right, there we heard call out that
The fairings?
the boost back burn has completed.
The fairings fall
Our
back down
first stage
because they're
will be
so light.
attempting
They
a
don't
land
need
landing
thermal
in just
protection
a
system.
few moments.
It's like if you drop the paper from a top
One
of
of
a
the
building,
nice things
the paper
about
would
land
just do
landings
this.
is that we're
Fairings
not
basically
subject
do that.
to ocean weather, and it's pretty convenient to land the first stage basically right next to where it lifted off from. However, our ability to execute a land landing
Okay, we have
really is dependent
titanium
upon the
fin
customer's
deploy.
needs. Their mission trajectory and performance
pulsing-
needed by the satellite is what determines if we can return to
The pulsing that you're seeing going on here is
Most of the
Falcon
time
9's
they're
nitrogen
required
attitude
install.
control systems. So basically, there's nothing. The rocket engines are off right now, and you're way too high up to have air do anything. So they shoot compressed nitrogen off in different directions to basically turn the booster around and get it aligned for landing. You'll see California. You'll see the coast of California come into view here again in a second. They're just, and note that another cool thing, this is for the nerds, this is real nerd stuff. They're modulating the thrusters. They're modulating the thrusters like that makes sure that these nozzles don't overheat. I mean, they are using cold gas, but still, you have to modulate the thrust.
That's a view there coming from inside the inner stage. We can see the stage pusher there.
We'll split
Here we
box
have
it
a
with NASA
beautiful view.
spaceflight gas.
I think that's probably one of the channel islands there on the right-hand side of the screen.
So we have NASA spaceflight over there, SpaceX proper
we can
over
see
there.
2 of the 4 hypersonic grid fins.
This is
We
a shot
deploy
on the
those,
ground and then a shot from the
shortly
stage.
after the stages separate, and those grid
Okay.
fins help steer the vehicle
There's
during
Slick
descent.
6. So this thing
You will
is
also
going to land
see-
right where my mouse
right
cursor
there, we just
is.
saw one,
See it right
like
there?
a puff of white gas. That is nitrogen gas.
There's the
from
landing
attitude
site.
control systems that help control the vehicle's orientation.
That's some
So
solid
there we
nitrogen
can see
coming
the
off the
booster
side there.
is steering itself back to Vandenberg Space Force Base. Piece of ice there on the left-hand side. Absolutely stunning
It's
views
solid
today,
nitrogen, guys. It's not
both
ice.
of
Yeah.
liftoff
I mean,
and our landing attempt.
okay,
As
so
I mentioned before,
what this
Vandenberg
thing-
typically has quite a bit of
what Falcon 9's basically going to do here is the landing site is right there, but Falcon 9 is aiming right here. The reason why they're aiming right there is if something goes wrong, the thing will go into the ocean. It won't basically carpet bomb the launch site. So right now, they're aiming on a trajectory right here. In a second here, you'll see the entry burn, supersonic retropropulsion, which is pretty rad. It's my favorite part. Where Falcon 9 uses its rocket engines, the gas coming out of the rocket engines as the heat shield to make sure it doesn't get wrecked. And then, right when the landing burn starts, you'll see it kind of turn into position. Here, look. There it is. There's your heat shield.
velocity down with this entry burn.
Now, it looks like NASA Spaceflight's a little bit ahead of the SpaceX cast.
Stage 1, entry burn, startup.
See? See how the
There we can
the
see
gases
that
coming
entry
out of
burn
Falcon 9
has
kind of look
begun,
like a heat shield there.
And this will last
That's what it's
for
doing. It's the heat
another
shield.
few seconds.
And there's split boxing again. Okay.
Stage 1, entry burn, shutdown.
Okay, now you should see this thing steer
And
into
we can see that
position.
entry burn has concluded. The vehicle continues to steer
at that
itself
first stage
for
flying.
a precise landing back at landing zone 4 at Vandenberg Space Force Base. The next burn we have
See?
is the landing burn.
See, it's aiming for the water
During
right
the first
here.
stage landing
When the landing burn
a
goes, it's
single
really going to
Merlin
turn.
engine,
It's
the
going to
center
turn back
engine,
over the
will
back over
relight
land.
and slow the
Stage
vehicle
1
down.
FTS is safe.
Flight termination system is safe. You see it kind of shuddering here
Closely,
because
you should
it's
be
coming
able
back
to
into
not
the
only
atmosphere.
see our landing zone, but our launch site as well.
Stage
Again,
2 FTS has safed.
The landing zone is pretty close to our launch pad. Shortly
Okay.
before the
There's the landing
vehicle
burn.
touches down.
Stage 1, landing burn, startup.
See it turn?
All right, we can see the landing burn has begun.
Okay. Here we go. Really hitting some G-forces here. You see it shuddering back and forth.
Landing zone coming into view for
Stand
the
by
first
for the
stage.
call for landing leg
Again,
deploy.
this is the first flight for this booster and first landing attempt.
What
Stage
a
1,
shot.
landing leg, deploy.
And
All
as
right.
you can see, a picture-perfect landing
Dude.
of this first
Well, that
stage
didn't
booster.
suck.
Its first flight and first
Holy
landing.
frick. Man, that's cool.
This booster
That
will
never
be
gets old,
prepared
man.
for reflight on another NRO
Damn.
mission later this year. This also marks our 105th overall successful recovery of an orbital class rocket,
that?
including both Falcon 9
I
and
think it was
Heavy
60 miles
first-stage
that way a
landings.
second ago.
As I mentioned earlier, at the request of our customer, the National Reconnaissance Office, we are concluding our webcast coverage early today. We would like to hear the NRO for entrusting us with today's launch, and a special thanks to the range
I
and the
can't
Federal
hypersonic
Aviation
this.
Administration for licensing support.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
For all those tuning in,
Can't
thanks
see
for
the last
watching,
right now,
and we'll
dude.
see you tomorrow for our Starlink launch.
Hey, see you tomorrow for the Starlink launch. Hell yeah. What does the NSF have? Oh, yeah. Here, I wanted to see this. Let me back up their stream just a little bit. So this is the NASA spaceflight stream.
Yep.
Let's see. Look at that thing. Dude. So you see the launch pad over there on the left? That's where it took off from.
We may see this twice. I'm going to zoom in here and we'll have a bit of an instant replay, just the latency between the two.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty
Couple
cool.
pixels there, but you know something? I'll allow it.
Yeah, I'd call that.
I was asking during supersonic retro propulsion, aren't they actually hypersonic?
Go at throttle up.
I mean, yeah, probably. It's just called SSRP, dude, but yeah. Reagan, hey, 16-month resub. What G-forces does the booster undergo on the way back? I wouldn't ride it, Sile. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be on this thing. The aerodynamic
Single
forces.
Merlin engine. These
Watch the grid fins. I mean, once again, these things are titanium. They're super freaking strong, and even then they're like, You see all this? The bumping around? That's it coming back into the atmosphere. Hypersonic retropropulsion sounds better. Yeah, see it take a turn right when it started the landing burn, because they do that because if something goes wrong, they're aiming. Well, actually, it didn't look like they were aiming out here. It looks like they were aiming out in a field over there. And then when the landing burn starts, it turns into position at the last second. Well, not at the last second, but you get the idea. There's the landing zone right there. Yeah, everything's looking good. These little bits of flame that are coming out of the side there, that's the dump from the Merlin 1D. The Merlin 1D is an open cycle engine, and it uses a gas turbine attached to the side of the rocket engine. And the gas turbine is turning the fuel pumps, so turbo pump. It's open cycle, which means the exhaust from that gas turbine is shooting off the side. It's shooting out the bottom, but it's shooting out the bottom kind of next to the nozzle, right? And to keep temperatures down, they run extremely fuel rich with that gas turbine, and also to make the most amount of power. That's a real important thing to understand. So an extremely fuel rich mixture comes out of that turbo pump, and the dump for the turbo pump is right next to the nozzle. So this little kind of bits of fire that you see coming out the sides are the open cycle Merlin engine. You see how it's lighting the exhaust, the gas turbine exhaust on fire, which is kind of cool. And then see, they spray water all over this pad here to film cool the pad so the rocket doesn't melt the concrete. Keep the deck of the pad here nice and wet When the rocket lands, you get this big cloud of steam because the rockets heat up the water instead of the concrete. It's a film cooling for the concrete surface. They do that with the drone ships too. That's how the rocket engine just doesn't melt a hole through the drone ship. So you see it burns off all that water right around here while it's landing, and the concrete stays relatively intact. I mean, rocket engines really like breaking concrete. It's an abrasive force. It's like hitting a metal part with a sandblaster. It'll just take bits of it off if you're not careful. I wonder how many kilonewtons of thrust the exhaust makes. I'm sure it's negligible, but it must be something. Def, it's more than you might think, because most of the energy from that gas generator is being used to turn the turbo pumps. It's not really a lot. Now, if it didn't have the turbine wheel for the impellers, that thing, yeah, it'd be a staunch little jet motor. I know, Geek. Dude. This is awesome. It's so freaking cool, man. Like... So you know what's even cooler? You can see how much heat is coming off the rocket engine when it crosses the horizon line. You see how it's all distorted right there? That's all the heat. The heat is diffusing the heat from the rocket engine is diffusing the light that's shining through the atmosphere here differently. That's why you get all this distortion. See how it's a real crisp edge right there, and then it blurs out? It's because the heat from the rocket motor. And like I said, just going to burn off all that water right there, and then, boop. What the frick? What the frick, man? It's perfect. It's freaking perfect. I mean, dude, it's... Like, that thing is almost dead center on that pad, which is just... Alright. Alright. Now it's nice and dirty. It was clean when it took off, but now it's dirty. And also, the dumps from the rocket engines, the open cycle, is why this thing gets so dirty. All the soot from the gas generator, because it's flying business end first during the landing burn and the entry burn. That's where all that soot comes from, because it's flying backwards through its own exhaust. All of it attaches to the ice that accumulates on here. And it attaches to the paint too. Anybody that has a diesel truck knows exactly what I'm talking about. You have a diesel truck exhaust, everything around that exhaust is going to get covered in like charcoal, because this thing is using rocket propellant 1, which is, it's a super refined version of jet fuel, which is like lives 2 houses down from diesel fuel, so to speak. It lives 2 houses down. It lives down on the corner. No, they're not that, it's not that far off. So this, what I'm trying to tell you is that Falcon 9 rolls coal, man. Is Super Heavy using welded steel grid fins instead of titanium because of a more gentle re-entry profile? Steel can take it, Torlev. Yeah, for the most part, yes. Yeah, look at that thing. That's something, man. It is something. And that launch was picture perfect, man. Like this shot here, though. Can we just slow it down a little bit and just... Ooh. What a shot. What a shot, man. You gotta be kidding me. Dude, you get to some of the beaches in California, man. This place looks fake. I'm not trying to incite it. It's just like, it's so perfect. Like, look at how pretty that picture is, man. It's so perfect. Like, it's like, stuff like this shouldn't exist. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. This place isn't real. This is Disney World. No, it is that pretty, man. I've been there. Been like right down the street from this. Do they burn off some of the hoses on the strongback as it starts to climb? The umbilicals usually stay connected, dude. You don't want your umbilicals coming off the rocket until it's off the pad, right? So with the older strongbacks that SpaceX uses, the rocket goes up, and when it goes up, the pulling force on the umbilical, it's on kind of like a bungee cord, right? And the bungee cord goes taut and it pulls it off, and then the bungee cord is attached to a weight inside of here, and it pulls it back. I mean, look at this picture. It's so beautiful. Like, man. Yeah, that place is that pretty. Can confirm. Seen it with my own eyes. This is like some fashion show. I know that the way you seeing this nonsense. Look at California, man. Look how pretty that is. Look at the color of the water. That's not okay. Where I'm from, the water is green. It's freaking green. It looks like baby poop. Doesn't look like that. That's ridiculous. 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 This place doesn't exist. It's ridiculous. It looks like water. My water's green. Green. Sir, this is a Wendy's, sir. Oh, in that case, give me Wendy's. Call redhead. What? Call the Bondulance. Last, what's up, Jim? How you doing, man? Yeah, this is Vandenberg Air Force Base, Lompoc, California. It's dude, we drove up this road during 154. Jim, I don't see your last. Am I stupid? Am I dumb? They need them attached in case of the second shutdown so they can defuel. A last second shutdown. Yeah, exactly, dude. Your umbilicals don't leave the vehicle until it launches. That's just smart. You don't want to have to send a guy out there to a fully fueled rocket to attach the umbilical to get the fuel out. That would be bad. Double baconator with fries and a Frosty. Yep. Yeah, Zonku. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, that's why I just paused on this shot, man. Here, let's get that landing bird. I want to see that landing bird one last time here. Oh. Dude, alright. You know what's nuts to me? Can we just get up to stage separation right here? So, okay. We got stage sep right here, right? Alright. So, I'm just going to pause this for a second. I just want to point out that this booster launched, well, you can't really see it because it's kind of behind here. The launch site is like right where my mouse cursor is, right where basically the coastline goes north, right? And look, also the second stage exhaust scorches the interstage a little bit here. See that? It's burning something there. That's crazy. There's the stiffener ring. Stiffener ring is just it's a attachment ring that they put on the nozzle to make sure the nozzle doesn't flop around inside of the first stage when the rocket's going on the way up. So that's the last we saw from the second stage because of classified mission. But let me just go a little bit into the future here. So actually, we could back it up just a little bit. We'll back it up to stage separation. So this rocket is right there. They are 95 kilometers up. The rocket's 95 kilometers up in the air. That's about 60 miles, right? Give or take. It's like 55. It's closer to 50, 55, 56 miles up. The point is, that's a long way up. Dude, we are way higher than any airliner. We're like 4 or 5 times the distance up. This is like flight level 3,000 up here. We're like 350,000 feet up in the air. All right? And it's 2 minutes and 41 seconds in. And this thing lands 8 minutes in. So in like an 8-minute window, right? The thing goes up, goes above the Kármán line, so above 62 miles, and then comes back down and lands. I know what it's doing. I've seen 1,000 of these. Well, not 1,000. I've seen, how many launches, how many landings have I seen? 70, 80, something like that. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous to me what this thing still does. Like, even to this day, that's absurd. What the heck? What is this? Flight level 311. Like, It's so freaking ridiculously far up there. And you can literally see where it took off from and where it's going to land. Like, what? What is happening right now? It blows my freaking mind, dude. Blows my freaking mind. Like, okay, so the RCS turns the booster around right here, and then right here. So, here's the coast. There's Slick 6 right there. There's Slick 4, there's Slick 3. That's where it's going. It just took off from where my mouse cursor is, and it's going to land right back down there. And this is even further up because when it does a boost back, it goes up in the air. The Falcon 9 doesn't point like right back at the launch site. It points up. So, like, the first stage turns like this and then points that way, and then it goes up, and then it comes back down, right? So, it went even a little higher. This is 120 kilometers up there. That's 70, 80 miles up. 80 miles, like, all right. And that's the landing site, right there. Right where my mouse cursor is. That's where this thing is going. It's so ridiculous to me. You take 80 from 200 and we make a deal. And right there, that's solid nitrogen coming out of the nozzles. Like, there is only a few vehicles that operate up here. This is higher than an SR-71. This is higher than an XB-70, higher than the U-2, like 3 times as high as the U-2. That's unbelievable. Like, only the Space Shuttle, Soyuz, the Apollo Command Service Module, Dragon, that's it, and Buran, and that's it. There's nothing else that flies higher than this thing right now. It's unbelievable. Nope, this goes higher than New Shepard, Badger, by about 20 to 30,000 feet. 120 kilometers up. Blue Origin hits 101 kilometers. They do that to get people above 62 miles, right? To get people into space. This thing goes higher than that because of the boost back burn, which is nuts, dude. Don't forget Mercury, Gemini, and Voshkod. Yeah, I suppose. I don't think the Mercury capsule went up this high, man. I could be wrong. X-37? No, that doesn't exist. I have some long drink illness, yeah. Unless Primo drank it, in which case, yeah. No. Yeah, check this out. So, so Thomas, I'll double box it here. This is from Flight Club, dudes. Just... That's what the trajectory looks like. See how during the boost back burn, it goes up and then comes back down? We're like, for the trajectory, it's like right here right now. So like airliners are like right here. The SR-71 and the U-2 are like right here. That's it. The U-2 and the SR-71 are the highest flying planes. They're up here. Airliners are like down here. Which is nuts to me. That's what blows my mind about this. It's unbelievable. How does that happen? I know, boo-boo, isn't it something? Oh, there you go, Havocs, yeah. Control loops intensify, yep. There's Lompoc Surf right there, or Lompoc Surf. Dude, I've driven my truck right there. Right, dude, oh, that's so weird. That's so bizarre to me. Look at the gimbal. Look at the gimbal doing work. FYI, you've seen 105 minus 1 landings. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, Jam, Fassified. You know the deal. Yeah, Torlav. I'd like to think he would like this. Von Braun would like this. He would very much like this. Bro. What the frick? What the frick, man? What? Like, I know exactly what this thing is doing, and that blows my mind even more. Like, I know what it's doing. I know exactly what it's doing. Know all the physics involved. That's not a big deal. And the fact that it's not a big deal is making my head hurt. You know? Imagine the Wright brothers seeing this. They would be like, oh, looks like that Goddard guy was right. And you can see that the turbo pump exhaust is getting burned off when it hits the rocket plume because it's flying backwards. See that? Oh, that's so ridiculous. What the frick? Pace, you know, he's saying it as a joke, right? Like, it looks like a launch in reverse, but you know what, man? It looks fake, right? I've seen these things land in real life. It still looks fake. In real life, like, I don't know what the hell to say about that. That doesn't look right. It does. The boosters coming back down and landing still looks wrong. It looks wrong in my head. Every time I see one, I'm like, that's not right. Okay. Rocket's supposed to go up, not down. It's just a real life CGI. It gets better. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Anyway, well, that was L-87. It's going to places. I'm going to guess a 550 kilometer sun synchronous orbit at 97 degrees inclined, but don't tell nobody that. Meanwhile, I can't get my car out of the snow. Oh, you should just use rocket engine. That will get the car out of snow real bit. No more snow. The FBI open up. Yeah, no, right? Night Viper, it's so strange, isn't it? It looks so wrong. Like, it's just weird. I mean, and then we're gonna see Super Heavy get caught. It's gonna get clapped by the tower. Like, what the heck? How is that even gonna happen? How is that gonna happen? How is Starship gonna get caught? How is that gonna work? Like, don't get me wrong. I have faith. I think they'll do it, but all right. Like, magnets. How do they work? Forget rocket engines. Use a tank with a jet engine as a snowblower. Yes. The T-34 solution. You want to remove snow, comrade? We will tell you how to remove snow. This is how you remove snow. No more snow. I want this. I have no freaking clue what I would do with it, but I want it. It's used to blow out oil wells, to be honest. Oil wells that are on fire. So this is a fire hose right here. And then the jet engines shoot the water into the fire. And then it basically blows the candles out. Yeah. Yeah. And it's on the chassis of a Russian tank, which is dope. That's awesome. Like, once again, I want this. Do I know? I don't know what are you going to do with this? I don't freaking know. Are you telling me you don't want a tank with a jet engine turret? Like, hello? Like, I mean, snow removal, bingo, right? Well, that's a little too much. That's a little too much horsepower for snow removal. I mean, if we wanted snow blowers, we just get the yeah, here we go. Yeah, here we go. This will work. Now that's a snowblower. Yeah, now we're talking. Yep. See that's a good snowblower. Yeah. Yeah. Great snowblower. Can't be snow when you melt it with a jet engine. That's just a water blower. That's just a Psyduck in truck form. Yeah, I'll take the jet tank. All right, I'll take the jet truck. That's fine. Jet truck is fine. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It'll work. It'll work. It's fine. Just drive the T-34 up and down the Mass Pike in a blizzard. That'll work. Anyway, all right, guys. So we still got a lot of time here. Do we want to go back into Hearts of Iron? We could I go back into Hearts. There's another launch tomorrow. And I was thinking maybe we'd start Space News at like 5 or something. Yeah, Winter Sight, that would be cool too. Who would you stop? Everything. Nah, we'll play MSC on the other side of Space News. So, I'll get that final hour of early hours in with Hearts of Iron, dudes, and then we'll do Space News and then Summer Car. My Summer Car. Yeah. So, don't forget, if you're only here for the launches, totally understand. Very good. There's another launch tomorrow at 1 in the afternoon. Starlink 36, so Starlink Group 4-7 will launch out of 39A at 1:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Conditions look pretty good on the day, so... Wait, didn't that count as Space News? No. Also last. No. New Jersey groundhog dies? Oh, God. I'm sorry, that's really funny. That wasn't... No, New Jersey, so it's not Punxsutawney Phil, but it's still funny, though. The New Jersey groundhog died. Groundhog comes out. What year is it? 2022. Are people still crazy? Yeah, all right. You know, like, nope, I'm out. If you need help, get help, seriously. But the groundhog is funny. It's terrible. Groundhog's like, nah, I'm good. nah, I'm all right. Guess I'll just die then. Okay, see you later. Oh man. Okie dokie. Let's jump back into Hearts of Iron. We will continue our anime conquest. And then we'll jump into Space News at 5. I'm changing up the title. Okay. Japan versus Germany in 1951. Yeah, it's been educational, but that front, we just pushed that front. We took over Crimean Peninsula, and now we're moving. Let's see if we can get Moscow and then Berlin. We're playing as Japan, but whatever. Blood Bam! All set up in Cheeseland finally. Hell yeah, man. Glad. All right, let's pop back in. Volkswagen versus Nissan. Got it. Yeah, so Nissan's gonna win. Yeah. No, W, I haven't, but I've been told that it has starships. Yes, Kyron, it's okay. I have taken over the Ukraine. It's mine. Yep. That is true, yep. Okay, let me just equalize out our sound here. So, here we are. This is Japan. We're doing quite well. Doing good here. You know, the home islands are all intact, and we have... We've taken over some ground here. Last button. Jet truck, if you stack vertically, it'll reach orbit. Physics would like a word with you. Yeah, we've done some good stuff, and I'm currently... Don't worry, it's all right. It's all right. I know. If you're wondering, you know, it's 1951. You know, the war, World War II hasn't ended yet. We gotta finish that. We gotta figure that one out. Yeah, we gotta. Yeah, it's very important. So we are working on spreading anime around the universe, and we're starting here. And then it'll eventually go around the universe here. Okay, infantry equipment. Why am I down 10,000 infantry equipment? Did the Lend-Lease stop or something, or? Next delivery is in 11 days. Okay. You gotta liberate the Slavs from the Nazis. Yeah, we're doing okay. It's alright. They did not see that coming. That I betray them. Yeah, maybe, Alexis. Alright. Alright. If the manpower goes below 1.47, we're going to need to go back to service by requirement. Mandatory conscription, which is kind of sucky, but... We need anti-tank and mechanized, okay? Guided missile and carrier close air support. We have free dockyards for you, Jim. I'm gonna not worry about the free dockyards right now. Alright, so right now I have troops on the northern front up here making our way into the Kola Peninsula. Almost to the border of Finland. Down here, we have forces that are almost at Ludendorff. St. Petersburg. And on the southern front, we're doing quite well. We've almost got all of the Ukraine taken over here. I just shut out the Germans out of the Crimean Peninsula here. And we have Marine divisions ready for an attack over here. Because I have a Japanese naval blockade in the Black Sea. Because why not? Too real, too real. It's okay. It's okay. I'm Japan. We got forces almost to Kursk here. And we're almost at Voronezh in Lipetsk. Where are our supply depots? What are our strategic targets? Moscow is the next strategic target for this center line here. Voronezh in... There's another supply depot there. So guys, basically where it's red is where I'm going to have some supply chain issues. Just because it's a little bit remote. There's a supply hub there. Wow. When that thing gets all ready to go, we should be good. Here, let me